My husband and I have a house that we cannot afford. Our mortgage payment is over $6,000 a month, and it's been listed for over 2 months now, and the house is just not selling.
I'm 59 years old, and my credit report shows that I owe $258,000 in student loans.
About 9 months ago, I bought a truck for about $29,000. I still owe $29,000 on it, and been making my payments every month, and I need help trying to figure out how to get out of this.
All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at some callers on the Dave Ramsey Show. If you've seen this series before, you know that the numbers they throw around on this show are crazy, typically a lot higher income than we see on the financial audit, but that doesn't mean people are any better with their money. We have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below, but let's just jump right into it.
We accidentally kind of racked up a lot of money on our credit cards. So now we're stuck at $35,000 on credit cards. We owned our home. We bought our home in 2021. We had about $75,000 of equity in it. We sold it and we got the $75,000.
What did you do?
What did I do? I didn't do anything. He accidentally gambled a lot of money, and we lost a lot of money.
How much? All of it?
$25,000 he lost. I didn't know that it's March Madness. I didn't know that it was going on. He was in a really bad spot mentally. He's doing a lot better. He's in therapy. He's doing everything to fix this. He feels absolutely terrible about it, of course, everything.
And have you acquired more debt since then? I want to have a full picture of this. So the only debt in the world that you have is these credit cards for $35,000. Is that correct? No cars?
$11,000 of student loans.
I want to caution you from this point on. I heard the word accidentally 2 times. We accidentally ran up $35,000 on a credit card. My husband accidentally gambled away $25,000. These are things that I wouldn't call them accidents, George.
Oh, I made $3,500 a night, and he was looking at it like maybe I can recoup some of her losses.
And that right there, that's the problem.
Yeah. Exactly. You have that gambler's mindset, especially if you have a good night. I made $3,500. I only need to do this a few more times and we'd be in the clear. And just like how so many other stories go, they end up being $25,000 in the hole instead. And the whole rest of the comment section is just saying accidentally LOL, because it was just another way for him to justify it. I accidentally picked the wrong teams. Oops. And like so many examples we've seen before, this ends up turning into a bad gambling problem.
Me and my wife have about $86,000 in debt. We make about $200,000 a year, and our current house and situation where we're living has rendered us paycheck to paycheck every single month. We have no money in savings. We have no dispensable money whatsoever.
What's your house payment?
So we pay rent $3,300 a month. All of our other utility bills accumulate up to about an additional between $400 to $600. So we're paying about $4,000 alone in just rent and utilities.
What's the $86,000 in debt?
Got into a truck payment on a high interest rate and high monthly payment.
I think we've identified the problem, Leonard.
What's the payment on the truck every month?
$1,142.70.
But there's something else going on here, because you're taking home over $12,000 a month, right?
I pay $1,500 a month in child support. We have credit cards, credit card bills that take up a couple $100 a month as well.
Then this has got to be a budgeting issue. I think that you guys make a good income, and as a result of that, you can get a little bit reckless. I think that's what happened with the truck.
Which I do agree with, but they're still not telling the entire story. Even adding on the $1,500 in child support and a few $100 apparently in credit card debt, you'd still be in pretty good shape making $200,000 a year. Another prime example of somebody living above their means. I mean, just going back through that clip, everything added up to around $500 a month, which is just a little bit over half of what's coming in. It just doesn't add up. And we got a comment from you guys here from an older episode. Financial problems shouldn't exist if you make $300,000 a year, because these are the type of clips we see so often from the show. I make $200,000 a year, $300,000, and they're in the exact same boat with somebody who's making $40,000, even though they should obviously be financially stable.
I'm single, so I make about $50,000 a year, and I just am always in the negatives. Can't really enjoy life. I just work and get back in the negatives.
Do you have a budget?
I don't, and I have no idea what's coming and going.
So John Maxwell said it this way. He said, a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. You lay out what you want your month to look like, and then you be a grown-up and live what you laid out. But you obviously won't plan to be in the red. Now, do you have a bunch of debt?
I have about 10,000. 4,000 of it is, you probably never heard of this. It's called a firm. So it's like a buy now, pay later plan.
Oh, I've definitely heard of it. So you've been impulsing your butt off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I have like 4,000.
This is like you put a T-shirt on 3 payments.
I don't know why my bank account's always in the red, but I don't budget and I use a firm all the time. Some of these callers just answer their own questions. And this goes well with a comment from you guys. They don't have a money problem. They have a spending problem. I know that it's getting tough out there for a ton of people with the high cost of living, but there are still some spending like they make 10 times more than they actually do.
My husband and I have a house that we cannot afford. Our mortgage payment is over $6,000 a month, and it's been listed for over 2 months now, and the house is just not selling. We're looking at either having to drop the price again and try to find $30,000 while we're in baby step 2 to be able to pay to get out of this house that we can't afford. And the other options that they gave us really were to potentially look at a short sale or a deed in lieu or something like that. And those options aren't on the table because my husband will lose his job if we go that route. And I don't know what to do.
So what is your household income?
My husband is currently working between 24 and 30 hours of overtime each week to be able to bring in $12,000 a month to take home.
And your payment is $6,000. And how much debt have you got in baby step 2?
We just have $45,000 left on 2 personal loans.
So this guy's working almost 2 full-time jobs worth of hours just to be able to barely afford this house. Feels like yet another example of living above your means. I mean, $6,000 a month mortgage, that sounds insane. And to me, it sounds like you need to downgrade. Get out of this house, get into a smaller one, because he's not going to be able to do this type of overtime for the entirety of the mortgage. Another comment here, I'll never not be speechless on how horrible people are with money, because I think a lot of you out there would be pretty happy with $12,000 a month coming in.
I'm 59 years old, and my credit report shows that I owe $258,000 in student loans. Is there any way I can make that go away?
Good Lord. You're 58?
I'm 59.
59.
And the
what did you study and when?
Well, actually, I have 3 degrees, and with parents and students going to college, they make the parents do the Parent Plus loans and pay for them.
Hold on, you said they make them?
My son wasn't able to get the tuition for his classes, and I had to do Parent Plus loans the whole 4 years for him.
Yeah, or not go to that school. Yeah, okay, so you did it. Yeah. So what is your household income?
My regular job is like $60,000 a year. I have a mortgage.
And you got 3 degrees in what?
The first degree was in multidisciplinary studies, criminal justice, and religion. The second was a master's in accounting, and then a master of divinity in theology and homiletics.
So why does a master's in accounting only make $60,000?
There's a long story about that. I don't think that a master's in accounting in this area would get you $60,000. It just so happens the job that I work at now pays a little bit more.
And you're in accounting full time?
No, I'm in logistics.
Okay, so if you've seen some of the videos talking about degrees on this channel, accounting is one of them right now that's actually pretty solid. Of course, it's very boring, it's all numbers, but with a lot of degrees recently becoming useless because of AI or other reasons, it actually seems like a pretty solid route right now. But normally a master's in accounting would make a lot more than $60,000 a year, especially if you're almost 60 years old. You would have an incredible amount of experience along with pay increases throughout your life, but instead you have $250,000 worth of student loans from your own degrees, along with your kids that you're now on the hook for, and this situation really does not look good. Going over to the comment section, Masters on Accounting asking help on money. Unless you have a very set structure of how you're going to pay off those loans with the job you're going to get from your college degree, I really don't think college is a good idea for some people out there, and that goes for both the father and son.
Well, I'm about to get about $280,000 Canadian, $200,000 US in inheritance because my mom passed away unexpectedly. And
I'm sorry, Alyssa. What's your financial situation? Do you have consumer debt?
I do. So we have about $90,000 in vehicle debt, about $45,000 in taxes from when my husband worked for himself.
$45,000 in back taxes?
Yes.
Okay.
And then about $15,000 in credit card debt.
What you're paying off kind of sucks. $90,000 of cars that you can't afford. And Alyssa, you guys aren't great with money. Can I just say that out loud?
I know that 100%.
So
Trust
here's
me.
so here's
this is
my
like a clean slate.
I know, but here's my fear. Here's my fear, Alyssa, is that this money goes and wipes out this debt and nothing has changed in y'all.
Which I always think is a problem with many people who go and file for bankruptcy when they're in a bunch of credit card debt. There is no change in mentality and spending habits, hitting the reset button, wiping the slate clean, and they'll get themselves in the exact same situation again down the road. This just substitutes out for an inheritance, but we could go over to the second part of this clip.
$90,000 worth of cars, and they're 2 cars, I'm assuming. What do you owe on each?
Mine is a 21 Wrangler, and we owe about $42,000.
Okay.
And then my husband's is a 22 Gladiator, so also a Jeep, and we owe about $50 on that one.
Okay. How much do you guys make a year?
Anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000. He's got a base plus commission.
Oh my
and then
gosh,
I'm
y'all
on
have too
salary.
much car, Alyssa. Too much car. It's adding up to close to $100,000 in cars, and you guys are at $150,000. We always say it should be no more than half of your annual income. So you're looking at 75 and you guys are over that. So something's got to change with the car situation. Do you agree, or are you like, I don't think we're going to do that?
Honestly, like the Jeeps are at this point part of like our personality, and like 90% of our friends that actually live in the U.S., we've met them from the Jeeps, like going off-roading and like.
If I woke up in your shoes, Alyssa, I would use $200,000. I'd pay taxes. I'd pay the credit card debt. I would sell the cars. I would re-up what's going inside of me and my consumption of life in cars. And I would cash flow the move to Florida.
Okay, so there's a couple things here. The marketing strategy when it comes to car manufacturers in the modern day has worked so well that now we have people driving around in cars that are their entire personality. The other thing that was just glossed over, they make $150,000 to $300,000 a year, and they're still having financial problems. Again, there has to be more to the story, because even though, at least in my opinion, $90,000 for the Wrangler and the Gladiator are not a good deal, you'd still be able to pay that down relatively easily, or pay in full if you're making almost $300,000 a year. But we could go over to the comment section, bet they bought new Jeeps and dumped $20,000 of accessories into them. I wouldn't doubt that either. A lot of Jeep owners do that. Why not sell those and pay cash for older Jeeps? Another person saying sell the Jeeps and buy cheaper ones, but then you wouldn't be driving around in a modern day Jeep, even though ones from 25 years ago look almost the same. We got another comment here from you guys. Not having a car payment will be the biggest flex going forward, because these examples keep getting worse and worse.
I have about $30,000 in debts. It's really just my truck payment. I have all my credit cards paid off. I have a couple other vehicles. Everything's paid off, but I want to pay off my truck.
Okay, I love that you're interested in paying off vehicles. What other vehicles do you have?
I have a 1993 7.3 Audi diesel truck. I have a motorcycle and a couple four-wheelers.
You like them wheels, don't you?
Yes, sir.
What's your income to have all these?
You better be making $1 million, homie.
No, just terrible with money.
Tell me, what are you earning?
I'm making about $3,200 a month after taxes.
I'm just going to put you on blast. My screen says that this truck has a 30% interest rate.
Yes, ma'am.
You left that little part out.
I'm not really for sure why they gave it to me at such a high interest rate. I didn't have a cosigner. It was a year ago, so I just turned 21. I was going to travel on the road, be a welder out on the road. Well, my dad got cancer, so I came off the road, so I come back to making regular people money.
Was it like a payday lot, or is this like a dealership?
It was an actual dealership out in Mississippi.
And they rolled you up for 30%?
Yes, sir.
Whoever did that is a terrible, terrible person taking advantage of a 21-year-old kid who's trying to take care of his dad with cancer.
And while I do agree with that, you still signed on the dotted line. Dealers and salesmen will never be your friend. They're trying to see how much they could possibly get out of you for a commission check. And that's why I think the car videos are so important on this channel, especially if you're younger like him, 21. I still feel like a lot of people don't know how interest rates work. Let's just do a clean number and say that truck was $10,000 and you had a 30% interest rate on it. Well, 30% of $10,000 would be $3,000. So I'd end up paying $13,000 for the truck, and that's not how it works at all. You now need to be extremely careful when financing any car from a dealership. Buy here, pay here. It does not matter.
I have an issue with a solar company. I was scammed into making a long-term deal with them, and I was trying to find a way I can get out of it.
How were you scammed?
Well, the sales rep made promises to me that made me, well, I can say made me, but lured me to make the deal. deal. He promised that I would not have an electric bill because he said the company was going to pay my electric bill in trade that I pay them for the solar. He showed it to me from his iPad that the company was going to pay it. Another thing that was that I could walk away after 5 years if it didn't work in my favor. So those things were kind of the biggest things that lured me to going on with the deal.
Were those things in writing?
He did not have anything in writing. He told me his contract that he had that for me to sign was on his iPad. So he showed that in writing on his iPad, just not in paper.
And you didn't get a copy of that?
He said they don't give out paper copies.
I mean, he says, you can't have a copy of the agreement you signed. That would concern me from the moment he said that, regardless of what it was.
So we've made a couple videos on this channel going over solar because of how many different examples of this there are online. The door-to-door salesmen get a lot more people than you think. And for some reason, especially when it comes to solar, there are a ton of shady companies. Going over to the comments, Peterson Dean got me too. Filed bankruptcy a few months after I installed. Now I need warranty work and can't get anything covered and not financed, so I can't go after the bank. The other issue is with financing as well. People get into horrendous deals where you would have to live in your house for decades just to break even on the solar loan. Then if you go and try to sell the house, you have to sell it with the solar loan on top of it, pushing away a lot of buyers. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. The entire situation is just a mess.
My husband recently took money out of his 401k on a HELOC loan for more mortgage without my knowledge, and then ended up getting scammed out of that money. How do you rebuild from that?
How much money was it, and what did he use it for that he got scammed out of?
It was close to $100,000.
And what did he do with it?
Basically, it's kind of like he was giving it to this, I'm doing air quotes, person who said that they were investing.
Oh, boy.
Investing it to get a return.
How'd you find out? Did he tell you, or did you discover it?
He came to me and he told me.
When did he tell you?
A month ago.
Okay, so there's two problems.
Yeah.
One is we're out $100,000, and two is you no longer trust your husband because he lies.
I really don't know how people believe any of these scammers. If somebody was legitimately that good at investing, whether it's the stock market, crypto, whatever, they wouldn't be coming to you, a stranger, or even a friend asking for money. They would just be able to multiply their own cash and be wildly successful. And to add on top of it, you lied to your wife, so now there's relationship problems, while also being out $100,000.
I just went through a breakup over money, and I want to figure out how to heal from it and move forward.
Oh, what happened?
He is a very anti-debt person. I have a lot of debt. I have student loan debt and credit card debt. I put everything on hold after my dad died a number of years ago, and I was taking care of the family for a long time. I was 19 when that happened and just sort of got into a lot of debt afterwards.
Yeah.
So money is very emotional for me because I don't have a good relationship with it and my family doesn't. And so when it came time to start going through the finances, it didn't go well.
So he panicked. Did he panic around the amount of debt there is, or your current way of seeing money and how you deal with money?
It was the behavior and my relationship with it.
Yes.
You asked, how do I heal? Well,
Yes.
Learn from what broke and rebuild trust in yourself, and then create the habits and become the person that you want to be, the person who changes your family tree and actually gets out of debt and doesn't use it anymore. And so this just might be one of those fork in the roads where you look back and go, man, that was a pivotal time in my life. But now you know, and you can do better.
Now, I do think that's good advice. I just think many people don't take it. Saying that you have a bad or emotional relationship with money just means you like to spend it, even if you don't have it in the bank account. And that's a tough cycle to get out of because you're constantly getting dopamine hits buying new things all the time, and it's now affected your relationship portion of your life. Going over to the comments, he recognized they have very different values and chose not to move forward. That was a wise choice, because in many cases like this, when they're not on the same page financially, it ends in divorce.
My family's living paycheck to paycheck kind of thing, and we've tried all kinds of stuff. We've gone through financial advisors and coaches at our banks and all that, and we're just hitting a wall where we just feel stuck and know that some patterns or behaviors somewhere have to change.
Did you find that there was a spending problem, or did you find that there was an income problem?
What I heard most was, it looks like you need to generate more income. That's what I heard.
What is your income?
I gross around $59,000 a year.
Okay, and what do you take home monthly?
I net around $5,026, I think, something like that.
Okay, what about your wife?
My wife doesn't have an income. She homeschools our kids and takes her motherly responsibilities pretty seriously.
I agree. You probably are facing an income issue. You're below the national average there, and so you are going to feel that. I'm assuming there's debt involved as well?
Correct.
So this clip is a little bit different than most of what we've seen in this video. It legitimately does seem like an income problem because, to be honest, in 2026, $5,000 a month to take care of an entire family is very difficult to do. I'm not saying that I'm against a stay-at-home mom, but there's a reason why most families have both of the parents working full-time. It's very expensive to raise a family now, and I just don't think his income is enough to make it work.
So my in-laws, his parents, helped us with a down payment on our house. And now we're receiving a lot of, on my end, unsolicited financial advice about debts and what we're doing with our money. And I guess I just want to know how much influence I should allow them to have in what we're doing with our finances as a unit, the two of us.
I don't know why they would have any. Do you owe them the money back? Did they loan you the money?
Yeah, well, they have a weird kind of situation. They've done this with my husband's sister as well. They kind of use it as a business transaction with their kids, so they'll help with the down payment on the house. And in the future, when the house is sold, they would get their down payment back and a certain percent of whatever profit we would make on the house.
Oh, that was stupid. You shouldn't have done that.
All right, so this is kind of similar to the problem with loaning friends or family money, but this is arguably worse. The parents are now using this as a loan and investment at the same time. Quickly going over to the comments, there's somebody who explained it better. The parents obviously bought the $800,000 house using a combination of $300,000 down and a $500,000 mortgage. Their son and his wife are now living in that home and making the mortgage payments, and they're only making $80,000 a year. No one making $80K a year is going to qualify for a $500,000 mortgage. So they're in a house that they clearly would not be able to afford on their income, literally 10 times their yearly salary. And now because of that, you're being controlled by their parents, who are also using this as an investment. I mean, I would steer clear of this completely because I really don't think this situation would end well at all.
My parents are in their mid-50s and don't really have a retirement plan in place, but they do have a car payment and an RV payment. So they're definitely upside down right now. It feels like my parents can't see what's so clear to me and my wife. What do you think we can share with them to help them understand?
Well, you're in a very difficult position. We call it the powdered butt syndrome. Once someone has powdered your butt, they don't really want your opinion on money or sex. So they don't really care what you think. So trying to give them advice, even though what you're saying is probably perfectly correct, you're in the least leveraged position to actually have influence. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So what I do in those situations is a couple of things. I never talk to them about what they should do, although by God, it's tempting. Instead, I talk about what I've been doing. So I would just say, my wife, if you're having Thanksgiving dinner or you and your dad are having a cup of coffee or whatever it is y'all do together, you say, hey, we're doing this thing and we've gotten out of debt and we don't have any car debt and we don't have any this and we built an emergency fund. And gosh, Dad, I got to tell you, I'm so peaceful.
So that's the thing.
I'm so peaceful. I'm so hopeful.
It's tricky because they're the ones who taught me how to budget.
Okay, so this falls under the category we've talked about. You really can't help everyone, even if it is your parents and they were the ones who initially taught you good financial rules. It sounds pretty crazy that they'd revert back to just spending money that they don't have, but I do agree with what they say in the clip. The only thing you can really do is show them what you're doing, instead of just telling them, you should do A, B, and C, even if you're right. Other than that, you could only really sit back and watch and let them make their own mistakes.
About 9 months ago, I bought a truck for about $29,000. I still owe $29,000 on it and been making my payments every month, and I need help trying to figure out how to get out of the situation.
What's the interest rate?
14%.
Well, that'll do it. The interest payment you're making is probably as much as your monthly payment, so they're just washing each other out.
How much can you sell it for, Nathan?
$17,500. Is that a local dealership?
Okay.
Well, that's the worst place to get it valued. I would look at the private party value on Kelley Blue Book, because there's no way a $29,000 car 9 months later is worth $17,000.
No, it should be more like 22-ish probably.
Now, obviously, you got screwed on this deal, so they may have sold you a $17,000 car for $29,000 for all I know. How did you get a 14% in? I mean, I just don't understand that. This truck needs to go, and so you might need to save up the amount you're underwater on just to get rid of it, and that would still be worth it. And you go get you a beater car to get you from A to B in the meantime until you can save up and buy something used in cash.
And to finish off this video, we got a comment from you guys. I'm gonna start watching these when I'm tempted to spend money on junk. I know a lot of people out there use these videos as de-influencing, especially the vehicles and all the horror stories we go over. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.